Barbara really didn't like the apartment she was renting. One of the windows overlooked a gray wall, stained with strange spots. The second overlooked at the garden, which was almost completely hidden by the terrible withered branches from the tree growing nearby. Because of the surrounding houses, the light did not penetrate well into Barbara's room. Before, it seemed to her that the weather outside was always nasty. In order not to sit in the twilight, the woman had to live with the lamp on. Because of a long day in such uncomfortable conditions, a depression started to affect Barbara, and with it, problems appeared in various areas of her life. Due to the eternally depressed mood, the woman began to make mistakes in her work, and her reputation as an excellent specialist was affected as well. Becoming nervous and irritable, Barbara quarreled with a handsome man in a noble gray hair at its temples, who tried to show attention to her for a long time. Being a widow for more than 5 years, the woman accepted them with pleasure and secretly hoped for a serious romance. Barbara thought things would work out if she could move out of her bad apartment and move into a sunnier, nicer place, but there wasn't enough money to move. One day, her older sister Rebecca came to visit Barbara. The women talked until late in the evening, telling each other news about themselves and remembering past years. In the morning, Barbara ran off to work, offering the guests to feel at home and not be shy if she needs something. When she returned, she could not believe her eyes. The apartment that Barbara knew so well and hated so much became bright and comfortable. The wall opposite the first window pleased the eye with a light pink background, on which, instead of pots, one could see butterflies and petals flying in the wind depicted by an unknown artist. In the garden, under another window, juicy emerald grass was green and beautiful colors swayed on their tall stems. On the bench in front of the flower bed, a man was sitting with a book. He was the same man with whom Barbara had recently quarreled. He raised his head, noticed the woman, and nodded affably to her. Inspired, Barbara smiled and nodded back. She wanted to sing and dance in a room filled with light and air. She suddenly felt that she would certainly cope with all her difficulties. In amazement, Barbara began to ask her sister what happened there in her absence. If not only the apartment, but also the world around were transformed. Rebecca replied that she simply washed the windows properly, which for a long time were not touched by the previous owners of the apartment, nor by Barbara herself. As for the dry branches, they were cut off by the workers of the landscaping service she called. The dusty coating that had adhered to the windows for many months was the reason that the rooms did not have enough light, and which at the same time made the world look gray and dull. Before you think about how you could be happier in other circumstances, consider whether you can change the ones you already have for the better.